class 10. Let us move on with our syllabus. Today I am going to tell you about about chapter 6, which deals with the peasants and the working class movement during the national freedom struggle. Now, peasants and working class movements, they had the objectives. The peasants, they wanted to protest against the high rate of taxation, and they wanted to protest against the oppressions of the money lenders, the landlords, and sometimes the British government also. So, and the working class, they used to protest against the exploitations of the mill owners, the factory owners. So, both the workers and the peasants from time to time had protested against the government as well as the landlords for the peasants part and the factory owners for the workers part. Now, we divide the peasants and the working class movement into two phases. The first phase, before the joining of Gandhiji in the Indian politics, and the other phase after Gandhiji's joining. So, we will learn about this in sequence. Now, peasant movements before Gandhiji, we come across that in 1910, we see that the tribals in the Bastar district in Madhya Pradesh, they had protested. Basically, it was a peasant movement. All the tribal revolts, they all dealt with the farmland. We have seen in chapter 3 also that the tribals were basically protesting against the high taxation on the land. And the before Gandhiji's emergence in the national politics, peasants in the Bastar district in Madhya Pradesh in 1910, they had revolted. Then we see the Chenchu tribe in Andhra Pradesh. They had revolted in 1916. And we, of course, we have learnt about the Tana Bhagat movement that was related to the Munda revolt during 1914 and 1919. They had also protested against the high taxation of land, and also the interference of the Christian missionaries. But basically it was the protest against the high taxation of lands and the operations related to the taxation of lands by the money lenders and the uh, landlords. Now, after joining of Gandhiji, we will come across some famous peasants movements like Kheda Satyagraha, the peasants of Kheda district in Gujarat, the Kheda Satyagraha, and the Champaran Satyagraha, which was related to the indigo plantation. We have learned about the Tin Kathia system, which was related to Champaran. The peasants of Champaran, they refused to cultivate indigo anymore. And Gandhiji, with the help of the local leaders, had arranged for the Satyagraha movement over there, which forced the British government to stop put a stop on the indigo cultivation. Ultimately, it was banned. Indigo cultivation was totally banned. So now in 1920s, we will see a new phase of the peasants and working class movement when the leftists, politicians, the leftist leaders, who are the leftists. Now we have learnt in class 9 about socialism and communism. So the political leaders who are the believers of socialist and communist ideologies, they are known as the leftists. And the political leaders who believe in the combination of both, like capitalism and socialism, they are known as the right wing leaders, right wing politicians. So the leftist politics, the leftist leaders, they had started to take interest in the workers and peasants movement during the 1920s. Why? Because we see that the Communist Party of India had been formed in 1920 in Russia, the city of Tashkent in Russia. The Communist Party of India was formed by Manobendranath Roy. And once again, the Communist Party of India was formed in 1925 in Kanpur in India. So we can say that the Communist Party of India was twice born. Sometimes the question comes like this: the Communist Party of India was twice born. Explain. So you'll have to explain that the Communist Party of India was first founded in 1920 in Tashkent in Russia by M.N. Roy, and later on in 1925 in Kanpur, again the Communist Party of India was formed. So that is why the Communist Party of India is known as twice born. So this was the reason. Now in 1920s we see one of the greatest peasant revolts, that was the Mopla revolt. Now Moplas, who are the Moplas? This comes as an objective question. The Moplas are the Muslim farmers of Malabar coast. That means the Muslim farmers of Kerala, they are known as Moplas. So they burst into revolt during 1920s, and their revolt actually had reached the highest point in the year 1921. The farmers had actually taken up the arms. It was a armed rebellion on the part of the farmers. It was a militant farmers revolt, and the British government had taken very strict measures. The operation that was taken by the British government had cost more than 10,000 peasants' lives. So we can say that the Mopla revolt had it attracted the attention of the national leaders with its intensity. And the leftist party, the leftist leaders rather, they had started taking the interest in the peasants and the working class movement from this time onwards, from 1920s. And as I have told, that the Communist Party of India was born during 1921 and then again in 1925. Now we will learn about the different organizations that had been formed during 1920s and had led the peasants and working class revolt.